Dividing whole numbers using repeated subtraction. So when we see 9,180 divided by 15, what this is really asking us is how many times can we subtract 15 from 9,180. So I'm going to write down my 9,180, and I don't want to have to subtract 1 15 at a time because it would take too long. So we may do something like 15 times 100 is 1,500. So if I subtract 1,500, I'm really subtracting 100 15s. That's what I get from here. It's 100 15s. Now I subtract. 0 minus 0 is 0. 8 minus 0 is 8. 1 minus 5 I can't do, so I have to borrow. 11 minus 5 is 6. 8 minus 1 is 7. And I ask myself, can I subtract 1,500 from what I have left over? And I can. And once again, that 1,500 is 100 15s. 0 minus 0 is 0. 8 minus 0 is 8. 6 minus 5 is 1. 7 minus 1 is 6. And I can subtract another 1,500, which is 100 15s. 0 minus 0 is 0. 8 minus 0 is 8. 1 minus 5 I can't do, so I need to borrow. 11 minus 5 is 6. And 1 minus 5 is 4. And I can subtract 1,500 again, which is 100 15s. 0 minus 0 is 0. 8 minus 0 is 8. 6 minus 5 is 1. 4 minus 1 is 3. And once again, I can subtract 1,500, which is 100 15s. 0 minus 0 is 0. 8 minus 0 is 8. 1 minus 5 I can't do, so I need to borrow. 11 minus 5 is 6. 2 minus 1 is 1. And I can subtract 1,500 again, which is 100 15s. 8 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. 8 minus 0 is 8. 6 minus 5 is 1. And 0 minus 0 is 0, so we don't need any more of those. Now when I get here, I can't subtract 1,500 again. So remember that I was using 15, right? That's my divisor. So what I want to do is come up with another multiplication. And I would use 15 times 10, because 15 times 10 is 150. So if I subtract 150, that's really 10 15s. And that's going to give me 0 minus 0 is 0, 8 minus 5 is 3, and 0 minus 0 is 0. Well, now I have 30, and I know that 30 is 2 15s. So I'm going to subtract 30 and know that that's 2 15s, because 15 times 2 is 30. And 30 minus 30 is 0. 0 is my remainder. If I'd gotten a non-zero remainder like 3, then 3 would have been my remainder. So now I need to look at exactly how many 15s I subtracted. Well, that's 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 610, 612. So we write 612, and it had a remainder of 0, so we don't need a remainder. And then let's just go back and check it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 hundreds, and then 10 and 2 is 12. So 612 is our answer. In problem 2, we're going to do it very, very similarly. This is 68,012 divided by 54. So we want to know how many times 54 can be subtracted from 68,012. And we just start off with some fairly simple multiplications. Now we can go 54 times 1,000 is 54,000. So I'm going to subtract 54,000 and make a note that that is 1,000 of my 54s. 2 minus 0 is 2. 1 minus 0 is 1. 0 minus 0 is 0. 8 minus 4, that's going to give me 4. And 6 minus 5 gives me 1. Okay, so I'm at 14,012. Well, I cannot subtract 54,000 from this, but I can do 54 times 100. That would give me 5,400. So let's subtract 5,400 and make a note that that's 100 of my 54s. 2 minus 0 is 2. 1 minus 0 is 1. 0 minus 4 I cannot do, so I borrow. 10 minus 4 is 6. 3 minus 5 I cannot do, so I have to borrow. And 13 minus 5 is going to give me 8. So I'm left with 8,612. I can subtract 5,400 or 5,400 from that, which is another 100 of my 54s. So now I've got 2 minus 0 is 2, 1 minus 0 is 1, 6 minus 4 is 2, and 8 minus 5 is 3. So I've got 3,212. I can't subtract 5,400 from that. But what I can do is go back up here and know that if 54 times 100 is 5,400, then 54 times 50 is half of 5,400. Well, half of 5,000 is 2,500, and half of 400 is 200. Adding those together, I would get 2,700. Okay, so I'm going to subtract 2,700 or 2,700 and make a note that that's 50 of my 54s. Alright, 2 minus 0 is 2, 1 minus 0 is 1, 2 minus 7 I can't do, so I borrow. 12 minus 7 is 5, and 2 minus 2 is 0. Alright, so now I'm at 512. I would like to be able to use 54 times 10, but that's 540, and I only have 512. So I'm going to have to use something smaller than that. Maybe I could use 54 times 5, and then just take half of my 540. Half of 500 is 250, and half of 40 is 20. So that gives me 270. And I can subtract that. So I'm going to subtract 270, make a note that that is 5 of my 54s. That's going to give me 2 minus 0 is 2. 1 minus 7 I can't do, so I borrow. 11 minus 7 is 4. And 4 minus 2 is 2. So I get 242. So I can't subtract 5 anymore, because I know that 5 54s gives me 270. So my guess is that I'm going to have 4 more 54s left in here. So let me just do that multiplication. 54 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. And then 5 times 4 is 20, plus 1 is 21. And that gives me 216. So I'm going to subtract 216 and make a note that that is 4 54s. 2 minus 6 I can't do, so I borrow. 12 minus 6 is 6. 3 minus 1 is 2. And 2 minus 2 is 0. So I've got 26 here. I can't subtract even one more 54 from that. So when I look for my answer, I'd say, okay, well, it's 1,000. And then I've got 200, so that's 1,200. 50, 55, and 55 plus 4 is 59. So it's 1,000, and then I've got 259. 1,259. Remainder, 26.